Good morning, viewers at home. You are welcome to today's edition of Newspapers Today. My name is Kayode Adibayo. Let me quickly avail you of the available newspapers for review this morning. First, I have with me the Daily Sun newspaper. I also have the Punch newspaper with me here. The Blueprint newspaper is also here. I also have the Nation newspaper. This daily newspaper is also here. I also have the Daily Asset. The Point newspaper is also here with me. I also have the Daily Times with me. Nigerian Tribune is also available for review this morning. Let me quickly run through the headlines as contained in the newspapers before we begin the review proper. On the front page of the Daily Sun newspaper, Buhari talks tough over vote buying. Then on the front page of the Punch newspaper, I have this one. Forex crisis. Traders lose as Naira rebounds to 720 Naira per dollar. Then on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper, I have this headline. APC lucky to have Tinubu as presidential candidate. Then on the front page of the Nation newspaper, I have this one. How Tinubu will actualize plans on economy. And on the front page of this day, no going back on Naira redesign. Then on the front page of the Daily Asset, 2023, again, Atiku predicts victory, APC collapse. On the front page of the Point newspaper, rescued Chibok girls begging to return to kidnappers. Then I have another headline on the Daily Times newspaper. We won't allow online platform to plunge Nigeria into crisis. And lastly, on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, hoodlums burn 65,699 PVCs, 904 ballot boxes in Ogun INEC office. Those are the headlines as contained in the papers today. So, with me to review the newspaper is our regular guest on the program, especially today being Friday, Alhaji Muritala Agbola. You are welcome on the program.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians, and to the Muslim brethren. I would say Juma Mubarak.
Thank you, Alhaji. Now, let's start with the Daily Sun newspaper. Buhari talks tough over vote buying.
Well, if the government is able to implement that, I think that would have been fantastic. But I don't think we are fair to ordinary Nigerians.
Okay.
If political parties can demand and got 100 million to buy a form as aspirant,
Okay.
and we are saying that ordinary people should not take 2,000 or 5,000. I'm not justifying vote buying.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that if the system is okay, nobody will want to go for 5 naira or 2,000, which cannot last even a month or even some weeks. So that's but all said and done, if the government is tough on it and people cease buying votes, it means we are going to elect people of our choice.
Okay.
And when the people get there, then they will do our bidding. Because the reality on ground is that people who get into power don't do the bidding of the people.
Okay.
So if you want them to do the bidding, then it means we go for our choice. Our voting will not be contingent because on the fact that maybe you have taken money from somebody.
Okay.
You go there and vote for your choice.
All right. Now, let's have another political related story, and I'm on the Blueprint newspaper now. APC lucky to have Tinubu as presidential candidate.
Who said that? I think it's the president.
Yes.
Yes. Hate him or like him, Asiwaju has certain qualities nobody can discountenance. There are also equal negative remarks people have made about him, age. He has been alleged to be involved in some shady deals and things like that. But I think if you ask me on a personal level, if you ask whether he has the capacity, I'll say yes. He has the capacity. So if the president, who knows him better than I do, is saying that, I think we can believe the president.
All right. Now, another story relating to politics here. Daily Asset. 2023, again, Atiku predicts victory. APC collapse.
Well, he couldn't have said otherwise. So it is natural that he wants APC to go into oblivion. And as a person, as a candidate, he also wants to win. And I think this is his last chance. After this, I don't think Nigerians or whatever party he may be will give him the opportunity to rule the country. So this is his last chance. So give it to him. Whatever he wants, he can say. But at the end of the day, it is the voters' decision that will matter. If he's able to solve the problem within PDP, particularly as it affects the G5 governors, the group of 5 governors, led by Nyesom Wike, he might be able to have his way. But if that is not realistically settled, I doubt very much. But I don't have the power of tomorrow. I don't have the clairvoyant powers. So, but what my eye can see, that's what I can see. So, it's going to be a bit difficult.
Okay. Now, let's have this story on Guardian newspaper. 65,699 PVCs bonds. Fear heightens after twin attacks on INEC offices.
Yes. There was attack in Ogun. There was attack in Osun. In Osun, it is Ede. Then in Ogun is Yana Mortuary. Well, so sad. I don't know why people are doing all these things. So maybe some people have said that they don't even see whether the 2023 election will hold or not. Well, I don't know. I wish I had that, but I don't know. But I don't think all these things will help us. Unfortunately, the Southwest, we are highly enlightened, we are educated, we are more informed. So I don't know why this is happening. But it has happened. 2 out of the 6 states. It happened in Abeokuta, Yana Mortuary, then in Ede South here. I don't know. Okiresi also. So sad, but that's the reality.
All right. Now, let's move on to economic stories now. Forex crisis, and I'm on the Punch newspaper. Forex crisis. Traders lose as Naira rebounds to 720 Naira per dollar.
Yes. As long as we cannot handle the issue of Forex, it will continue to haunt us. Nigerians, particularly our governments, have not done much to ensure that we diversify our revenue base. It's all oil, and oil. And whatever happens to oil, 1, there is oil theft. 2, the international prices may not be okay. But since we don't have any choice, then we have to contend with it. And that's a major source of our revenue. The other source is remittances from Nigerians abroad. So, and with this idea of redesigning the Naira too, people have now they have decided to buy dollars. So I hope the Nigerian can collaborate with US government so that there's also a move to neutralize their effect here. Until then, we have to contend with higher prices of goods. If you observe, of late, the prices of every good, rice, the price of a bag now, and other commodities, even local commodities, they are all affected.
Yeah, let's have this story on the Daily Times newspaper. No going back on redesign of Naira notes. That is coming from the president.
Well, to me, the policy is good. If it can be seen through. Good as it is, there are certain things that must be done. The government has given between now, or between December 15 and January 31st. If you can ensure that, fine. Then, if there are no negative collaborations, some people will want to neutralize the effect of it. But I think the concept is good everywhere in the world. It's not only Nigeria, but now in Nigeria, people will begin to say, the time is so short and things like that. But whatever it is, the government is saying there's no going back. And I still remember in my university days, that was when Buhari introduced that during his regime, Buhari Diagwan, for 2 weeks, and it didn't change. People thought it was going to, you see this Nigerian mentality. It will change. It didn't change. Oh. Those who could not change their money then lost it. So we have between now and a lot of money is now getting into the banks. No people, politicians keep money in the house. I'm not saying all of them, but some of them keep money in the house. The kidnappers, the abductors, they also keep money in the house, and some other unscrupulous people. So it's a good policy. That's if you can see it through.
All right. Now, let's have another story on Leadership Friday. Loan sharks persist with cruel recovery practices.
Yes, for people, even in the banks, there are so many conditions, both known and unknown.
Okay.
If you are asked to come for loan, they will encourage, or if you desire to take loan, they will encourage you. But after you have taken the loans, there are so many conditions that will be brought to bear. That is even better. But the local loan givers, wow, it's terrible. In fact, the popular one, that's even not a loan per se.
Yeah.
This what we call the Community Lantern.
Okay.
It's very terrible. You know, people going to market. In fact, they say if you are supposed to pay, there's no excuse. I'm sick. Oh, no. There's nothing like that. You just have to pay. So I think the economy can be made better with people taking loans and then be able to pay back.
Okay. Now, let me have another story here on Business Day newspaper. Oil royalty boosts ISIS state's cash flow.
ISIS, that is this international terrorist.
No, ISIS. Oil royalty boosts ISIS state cash flow.
Oh, okay. Oil royalty. Well, it means we are generating something from oil,
yes.
And the royalties is coming in. So it's good for us. I think the price has even gone up now, so it's helping us. But we should not depend solely on that. We should diversify the economy. And God has blessed this country. Nigeria is well placed.
Okay. Now let's have another story here on the Point newspaper. Rescue Chibok girls begging to return to kidnappers.
Yes, you see, they were kidnapping, I think 2014 or thereabout. Yes, 2014.
Yeah.
So they have now got used to the system over there. Now, but for us here, it doesn't add up. For their parents, they are looking at what are these people talking about. But for those who have been there for some years, they have gotten accustomed to a certain way of life, and they don't even want to leave it. But it's sad that they want to think about going back to that system. But it's unfortunate, but that's how life is.
All right. Now let's move to the Nigerian Tribune newspapers now. Hoodlums born, I think we're done with that.
Yes.
Now let's have another story here. 20 fared killed as petrol-laden truck explodes in Kogi.
Yes, a coal vehicle hit petrol-laden vehicle.
Yeah.
So sad. A lot of people. Well, I think some of these accidents are avoidable. For example, by now we should be thinking of ferrying our petrol, not through the tankers. Because the disadvantage of the tankers is that sometimes you have accidents, sometimes they break down the way, sometimes there's overspeeding. By now we should be using the train to ferry it, or even through the pipes. But since all these years, in fact, the oil is even got, in the next 10 or 20 years, you might not even be using oil. You know, so sad, but it's very unfortunate. Some of these things are avoidable. Then we have to change our means of ferrying petroleum. All right.
Now, I'm still on Nigerian Tribune. Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Police in Oyo, Ogun, re-strategized, mobilized against kidnappers, bandits.
Well, I think the one that happened yesterday is the second one. The first one involved a former deputy vice chancellor of University of Ibadan, one Professor Agbaje, and some students from Polytechnic, Ogun State Polytechnic, Abeokuta. Now, there's another one that has happened. So, why can't we be preemptive? Why can't we be proactive so that we try to stem this tide? Now, Lagos-Ibadan road is about the busiest road we have, if not in West Africa, at least in Nigeria. Every part of the country wants to come to Lagos. So if these things are happening, then it means we are in trouble. So I think the security agencies should collaborate effort to see that proper actions are taken against these bandits.
Okay. Now, let's see another story here on the Blueprint newspaper. Federal government targets $14.16 billion annual contribution to GDP.
Where is the money coming from? How realistic is it? It's a good thing to have good plans,
Okay.
but it's another thing walking the talk. That is, where is the source? Is it from tax? Is it from petroleum? Is it from which source of income? Before we can say it's realistic or not.
Okay.
So they have to do something meaningful.
All right. Now, there's another story here on the Guardian newspaper relating to population census. NPC warns Nigerians against migrating for census.
Well, I hope they will be able to do that. But you see, we have seen census as a weapon to get more revenue from the government.
Yeah.
So wherever people are, they want to come back home so that they will be counted at home. Well, I don't know whether it is possible for us to stop it. But whatever it is, if we have a good census and the government is responsible and responsive to the yearnings of the people, all these things might not be necessary.
All right.
So, but for now, I hope and pray that the census will be conducted because it's long overdue. The last one was 2006. And suppose census is supposed to be conducted every 10 years. That's in a decade. So, which means the last one ought to have taken place in 2016. We are in 2022 now.
Yeah.
That's about 6 years after.
Yeah.
But let's hope that you have a good census.
All right. Now, I'm now moving to the Punch newspaper with this story. Farmers kick as CBN halts anchor borrowers program.
Well, you see, the central bank, if they want to halt it, the argument may be the money they have put out there, have they been able to retrieve them? How much of the money out there has come back? Okay. And the farmers too may be justified. Given the flooding that took place now, how do you expect them to pay back? So that's another thing. So the central bank wants to stop it. The farmers are saying, no, you cannot stop it. Yeah, so we are in a dicey situation. And that's why, you see, if we are really serious, we have to manufacture. There are so many companies that have gone out of Nigeria. In those days, Awolowo during his time built Ilupeju Industrial Estate, built Apapa Industrial Estate, and built Ikeja Industrial Estate. At least these three I know very well. Oluyole in Ibadan, that's even in Oyo State. Today, most of those places have become worship centers. It has become worship centers. You see, we are not producing. Yes, we have to pray to God, but we have to work. Even the Bible says, work and pray. Yeah. So we have to work and then pray. But all these in the morning, in the afternoon, we are in the mosque, we are in the church. I'm not saying it's bad though. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that we have to work. So if we are not working, then how do we expect to get in? So the government has to. In fact, we have no choice. We have no alternative, no option. We need to produce so that we move from primary to secondary. That is the manufacturing stage. That will help us. People will earn and need. I've said it severally. In fact, at the point I was becoming a nuisance. How can we, the two industries we have, at least government industries we have in Osun, is the steel rolling mill and machine tool. So you all know where they are now.
All right. Lastly, before we round it up for today, I'm moving to Daily Times newspaper. We won't allow any online platform to plunge Nigeria into crisis. That is coming from the federal government.
Yes, because of Twitter thing. And you know, Twitter too have changed hands now. So what the government is saying that, well, they cannot allow any online medium to plunge the country. So that's is a good thing, provided they don't go beyond their bounds.
Okay.
That's all.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Alhaji. This is where we are going to call it quit for today.
Thank you for
coming
having
on
me.
the program.
Thank you
very much. Viewers at home, this is the convenient spot for us to end the program for today, newspaper. Tomorrow is another day when you join another of my colleagues on a fresh edition of the program, Newspapers Today. Until then, bye-bye.